Hi, welcome to Caribou Country Lifestyle. Today I am kind of just organizing things here in my basement. I had dug up my dahlia bulbs from my dahlia seeds that I had started. So these are the Figaro mixed color dahlia seeds, and I had started these plants from seed, and then this fall I dug them up and I have the plants here. It's dried out. These are the bulbs that I have dug out from the ground, and now all I'm doing is I'm taking just a pair of my pruners and I'm just cutting off the top portion of the plant on it, and then this is what's left. And I'm just putting them into a paper bag, and I'm going to store them over the winter. So I'm going to be adding some of the pine shavings that we buy for the bedding that we use in the chicken coop, and we buy it by the bag. So I'm just going to add, and I've also labeled the bag of what they are. I'm going to add the pine shavings in to keep any moisture out from these bulbs. Now, I never lifted dahlia bulbs. I always found it was too much work, and a lot of times I would forget, and then the next thing you know, things freeze and it's too late. This time I actually remembered and thought about lifting the bulbs, and I was able to do it, so that's great. And I just found a paper bag to put them into, and I've labeled it, and then I just have to do the pine shavings. I also wanted to talk about some of the seeds that I've collected over the summer, just so I would have them for next year's growing season. And I've gone to a few different places. I've been to Art Knapp in Prince George and the Art Knapp in Kamloops. And they carry the West Coast seeds, and then they carry another type of seeds, and these are the Pacific Northwest Seed Company, and they are based out of Vernon, BC. The company that packages these seeds, they're in Vernon, BC. And I've also been to Early's, which is a place in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. When I was visiting my sister, I had collected a bunch of seeds that I was looking for, and so I have a catalog from Early's now, so if I wanted to order something, I could order it online, so that's great too. That just gives me another outlet to be able to get seeds from other places. Maybe I could find them at a better price. Maybe there's more variety at other places. So West Coast Seeds has a good assortment of variety of seeds, and I found that Early's has a great variety of seeds too, but we don't have an Early's in British Columbia, so it was kind of nice to be able to go to a different center to find these other varieties that I may not be able to find. I don't see any of these in my regular catalogs. Like, I order with T&T Seeds, and they're based out of Manitoba. And I also order from Lindenberg Seeds online, and they are based out of Manitoba as well. So it's kind of nice having a lot more variety, because I find that some of these seed companies that are in the States, they don't deliver to places in Canada, so sometimes you're kind of limited on where you can get your seeds from. And I've also been collecting some seeds as well over the course of when the seeds were stopped flowering or there was a dried up head. Now I'll use osteospermum for instance. I have an osteospermum here, and this one here, this is just a mix of osteospermum. Now I planted osteospermum, but I did the shades of lavender. And so what I did was when it was done flowering and the seed head, or the head from where the flower was dried up, I picked off that head and I opened it up and I collected all these seeds. Now when you get a package, now I'm not sure if it even says in here, but if I was to check out in my Lindenberg book and looked for osteospermum, and it tells you how many seeds you actually get in the package. Okay, so osteospermum, you get 10 seeds in the package, and that costs you $7. So I have probably at least 20 to 30 seeds in this package that I had saved, and now I can just plant these seeds next year instead. Now, yes, I did pick up a pack in my travels, but this is a mixed one that I found, and I thought, well, that's nice too. I like the idea of having a mixed variety. This one is just different shades of lavender, and it was really pretty. I really enjoyed that. So collecting the seeds is another alternative that you could do. My sister, she was at an Airbnb and she seen these cone flowers at the Airbnb, and she actually plucked off a couple of the dried up flower heads, and so she gave me one, and so the seeds are inside here, and all I have to do is crumble up that seed head and all those little seeds will just loosen and fall off, and then I can collect those seeds and put them into a little baggie as well, and then I will have coneflower seeds that I don't have to purchase. So sometimes you can save yourself some money that way. But I'm going to go over some other things that when I'm starting my planting and I'm starting my seeds, I have a few different variety of guides that I like to follow as well. So West Coast Seeds has a gardening guide, and I got this one in 2022, and it has lots of information, and this is a Canadian-based company, West Coast Seeds. So all of the information in here is basically a guideline for across Canada. So there's that one. And then what I did was Vessey's, if you go on, they are also Canadian. If you go on to their site, you can actually print off their growing guide. And I got here, it's a vegetable seed planting guide, and it goes through all the different vegetables and when you can start them and how deep do you plant the seeds, how far do you plant the seeds, and it'll tell you when you can start them. And if you plant this long of a row, it will yield this much of your vegetables. Then it goes into, they have a seed starting guide, and they start with doing your vegetables, and it goes through each of the vegetables alphabetically. And then after the vegetables, then it goes into growing your flowers from seed. Then after the flowers, and it's all alphabetical as well. Then it goes into a guide about planting roses and shrubs and how to care for them as well, whether it's pruning or how to care for them over the winter. And then after the roses and the shrubs, it also has how you can tell what your zones are. And in the top part of the map, this is all Canada part. It has all the states zones as well, and tells you which zone is for which province and which area. So there's a guide for that. And then ornamental grasses, fruits and berries, on how to setting up whether you're doing grapes, on how to prune grapes. So this is all about grapes, blackberries. Then it goes into bulb and perennial roots. And the guide on that. And so all I've done is I printed that off, and it's all in color. And then I hole punched it and I stuck it in this binder, and I got this binder from Value Village. It was like 99 cents. And then what I did was I just pulled the Vesey's seed cover off of the Vesey seed catalog, and I just slipped it in behind this plastic protector guide. So that's good information that I would like to refer to. Sometimes I will just use a pad of paper with lines on it, and I will take notes. Some things I'll take notes from out of these guides. Something that sticks out that I find is useful information, and I will take that information and I will put it down on my line pad. And then, oh yeah, and another thing I wanted to show you that I got from Early's in Saskatchewan was I got some of these wicking mats. Now, I've never used these before, but they're supposed to be pretty good. And so this one in here, it just is a 2-pack, and you can cut them so they're on a roll. And well, let's just open it up and let's see exactly what it looks like. So you use these underneath when you're starting your seeds inside. You use these mats underneath your plants that you're starting in the cells. So, moisture wicking mat wicks up the moisture so your plants aren't sitting in water, is what I'm gathering that these are for. I actually want to order more of these. I was looking at some with my sister on Amazon, and I only have 2 here, so that's only going to be enough for 2 trays. So I'd like to get a few more of these mats, and I'm looking at them. So these 2 that I got here were $17. And I have seen some where you can get a 2-pack, but you get a lot more that you can cut from the rolls that they have. You can get a lot more cut from it than just a couple. And I think it was like $26 for 2 rolls, but I think you could get 6. If I think about it, I think you could get 6 mats cut to fit into your trays that lines the bottom of the tray before you put in your cells to start your seeds. So I got this one from Early's, but I want to order some online through Amazon. And another thing I picked up at Vesey's was I got a pack of 100 of these plant tags, just in different colors, rainbow colors, and this was $10, and you get a pack of 100. So I needed more little tags as well. So now let's go through some of the seeds that I picked up over the summer, just so I knew they were seeds that I was going to be needing. So I'm going to start with the vegetable seeds And I'll start with the ones that we just plant right outdoors. These are not ones that you would have to start inside. So I ended up getting my dark green zucchini. I always like to have that planted in the garden along with the gold zucchini too. And then I got some of the patty pan, the sunburst squash. I really like those as well. I ended up getting more of the countryside spinach. It's a baby spinach. I grew this last year and I really enjoyed that. It was really well grown, prolific spinach, and they weren't great big leaves. They're just a baby leaf. I got some more butter crunch lettuce. I really like that. This is a new one that I haven't tried before, a prize head lettuce, and it has the different colors in it. So it's kind of from green on the inside and then it goes to a red on the outer edge of the leaves. I got more of the dwarf blue curled kale. I've been growing that for a couple of years now. I really like that one. I picked up some tender green bush beans. I'm probably not going to be I've decided not to do the pole beans. I just have too many other things that I need to have growing up those panels. I want to be doing cucumbers and snap peas. And I also did really well with butternut squash on those panels also. I bought a great big bag, and this was at Early's. I got these, and they are the tender sweet snap peas. Bolero pelleted carrots. I went to, it was one of my gardener club meetings that I go to. They have one at the beginning, every first Thursday of the month. They have a meeting. And one of the gals that spoke at the meeting said that these carrots were the best carrots. She really enjoyed them. She wouldn't grow anything else. So I found them. They're a pelleted carrot, which I enjoy having the pelleted seeds because they're just easier to handle. Like carrot seeds are so fine. Then I also got, and this one is a pelleted seed also, and this is the Goldfinger carrot. Now my sister gave me some of the seeds for that, and I really enjoyed that one too. I found that they were really nice and sweet. So I found some of those at Early's, and I picked those up too. Now I've got these Sunny V corn. I used up the last of the corn that I had from before, and those seeds were over 10 years old. So, and they were growing corn on them, so I ended up picking up this Sunny V corn, and I'm gonna be planting that in my garden this year. Okay, now we'll go into the seeds that you start indoors before you put them out into your garden. And we'll start with China Gold cabbage. This is an Asian cabbage. I grew this last year, and it turned out really well, and we really enjoyed it. My sister had grown it. She gave me some seeds, and I grew it this last year, and I really enjoyed it, so I ended up picking these up at Early's. This variety of cabbage is the Lenox cabbage, and again, this is a variety that the same girl that was at the Gardeners Club meeting, she talked about the carrots, and those were the Bolero carrots. Well, cabbage, she said this is the only cabbage she ever grows. They get really big. They also are great for storage over the winter. She just pulls the whole cabbage right up, root and all, and then she ties it. They have a big root cellar, so that's a bonus. So she ties it from the rafters of the roof of her root cellar and ties it at the root so that the cabbage is hanging upside down, and that's how she stores it over the winter. So I want to try those and see what those are like. I picked up some giant Musselburgh leeks. Now those are not the same variety that I grew last year, and I can't even think of what variety I grew last year. I picked up some more Elsa Craig onions. I'm going to be starting those inside again. I picked up some sweet banana peppers. I've been hearing really good things about sweet banana peppers, so I would like to try some of these. They're supposed to be really good production as far as growth goes. I picked up some more mashed potato squash seeds, and of course these were West Coast seeds, so I probably got them from Art Nap for West Coast seeds. I also picked up some Sun Gold cherry tomato seeds. I've heard really good things. My brother-in-law absolutely loves these cherry tomatoes, so I wanted to try them out. Then I got some more of the black Krim, which I grew this last year. I really enjoyed those. I got some more of the tumbling yellow, and those are the ones that I grow in baskets on my deck. So I'm excited about that. And then last, I got the Lemon Boy tomatoes, which I have been growing those for the last couple of years, and they are a tomato that has less seeds in it, and they're low in acid. So that's important for somebody that is watching out. If you have acid reflux or digestion issues, then that's something that you would definitely want to look into. Okay, the only herb I picked up over the summer was I picked up some lemon basil. I've really enjoyed growing the different types of basil. I do the holy basil, which is the Tulsi. Then I did the lemon basil, and I did the regular basil, and I tried doing different types of the teas where I steep them, and then I let them cool off, and I end up drinking them. I put it in the fridge, and then I drink it on ice, and I really enjoyed that. They're really good for digestion as well when you drink it as a tea. On to this flower seeds. So this one I picked up, it's the Tidal Wave Silver Petunias. Now I've always enjoyed the petunias, and this one, it hangs down over the side, so they'd be great for in baskets. But these ones were only $4.99, and that's probably the cheapest I've seen for Tidal Wave petunias, and those I got at Early's in Saskatchewan. I picked up these Joker sunflower seeds. I think these are going to be beautiful in my garden, and this is from the Pacific Northwest Seeds. This is from the company that they package their seeds in Vernon, and I get these from Art Nap as well. Sweet peas. I have 3 kinds of sweet peas that I picked up. I got Incense Mix, Early Spencer, and the Royal Family Blue. Now with sweet peas, I know a lot of people will just plant the sweet peas right out in the dirt, but with sweet peas, you're supposed to soak them overnight, and then you can start them at the end of April, beginning of May inside, and then plant them out in the garden when it's not frosty anymore, when your last frost. And you can find out when is your last frost by going online and checking when your last frost is for in your area. And ours last frost is usually around June the 2nd. But there are some seeds that I do plant 5 weeks before the last frost. And I have done a video about that as well. And I told you about the osteospermum. This is the mixed color. I got this Lavaterra. This is the Ruby Regis. And my sister grew these, and they are absolutely beautiful. So I'm pretty excited about growing those next year. I've always wanted to do the Gerbera daisies, so I found those at Early's as well, and I will be planting those. My dog is upstairs, and I've blocked off from her coming into the basement. So she's upstairs barking her head off because she's not happy about it. Okay, next is the Silver Dust Dusty Miller. These don't flower, but I do like them as greenery in hanging baskets with other plants that do flower. I like the Dusty Miller. Dianthus. I had the Crimson Eye Dianthus this last year, and I really liked it, but I ended up getting these, it's black and white Dianthus. And I think that is going to look spectacular in my hanging baskets and out in my planters. And then I picked up these Cosmos. They are pretty stellar looking. I really like them. These are the Cosmo red and white Cosmos. I've never grown Cosmos before, but I hear a lot of good things about Cosmos, so I thought I'd give it a try. There are many other seeds that I want to get. Some I have to order through Lindenberg's, and my list that I want to get from Lindenberg's is the Royal Burgundy beans. They are a bush bean. The Golden Detroit beets, which I used the last of my Golden Detroit beets. Some Fortress Pontiac onions, and those are a large onion that I will be starting inside. Some German Giant radish. The Lavender Blue Wonderland Alyssum, Calendula, the Neon Calendula, the Queen Sophia Marigold, Double Cascade Petunia in the Orchid Mist, also the all double Canadian Petunia, the Drummondi Mix Phlox, 20 Snapdragons, and then at TNT, which is another seed company that I order through, I want to get the Red Carpet Hybrid Onion, the Genesis Hybrid Onion. I'm looking into seeing if I can get some burlap bags, and that's basically for storage for things like potatoes and onions. And the Verbena Giant Florist Mix and the double Glendiflora Glorious Mix. Oh, and the Hikuri Salad Turnip is another one that I grew in the garden. I really enjoyed that this last year in the garden, so I definitely want to order some more of those. So I just wanted to show you some things that I've been doing and taking care of over the last week. And I also wanted to show you some of the seeds that I have been collecting and picking up over the summer that I have for next summer. Sometimes it's just cheaper to be able to find them in the different areas at different prices and not always having to get and order them online. This is probably going to save me from ordering as much, but you never know. Funnier things have happened because you get caught up in the moment, and the next thing you know, you're just an ordering fool. And I can attest to that. I can be an ordering fool. Anyways, I just want to say thanks for joining me, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.